This is it, bro. Like, it come down to Caitlyn, bro. It is what it is, man. Caitlyn, you gotta take a stand, man. You stand for something or you die. You'll fall for anything, man. Caitlyn Clark, you gotta take this, y'all, and it's plain and simple. Caitlyn Clark has to give the Indiana Fever an ultimatum. That's right. I've been disgusted all day about this piss poor, embarrassing performance from the players and most of all from this coaching staff. Stephanie White, I'll say it again, you are a pure bum of a coach.
What happens when a coach gets handed a generational talent and responds with a masterclass in mismanagement? That's the question haunting Fever fans after the latest blowout. Stephanie White didn't just lose a game, she may have set a new low for coaching confusion. Clark fans aren't just upset, they've gone full rebellion. Think flaming memes, meltdown threads, and enough side-eyes to block out the sun. So what actually went down? Why are fans so furious? And are we watching a team collapse or a revolution begin?
To watch a 19-point loss, Caitlyn Clark's return, in which, since this is a lady we're talking about, it looks like Stephanie White has spaded Caitlyn Clark, for lack of a better way of putting it. If it was a dude, I'd say neutered, but, you get my point. She has taken away Caitlyn Clark's greatest asset, which is the creator and instigator of...
Let's start with the offense, or whatever you'd call that slow-motion disaster Indiana keeps rolling out. It's like someone hit pause in 1997 and forgot where the remote went. Watching this team try to run a set feels like waiting at the DMV while your soul slowly withers. If you came for high-octane Clark highlights, you're getting budget reruns of Where's the Ball Going Now? Featuring guest stars, no movement and zero spacing. And hey, before we dig in deeper, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Courtside Legends, where we break down the real stories behind the box scores.
So I'm getting concerned. I'm getting concerned about Caitlyn Clark's future with the Indiana Fever, because it's not just that they're losing these games, it's the manner in which they're losing. It's the low shot attempts from Caitlyn Clark. It's the low usage from Caitlyn Clark. It's the having her in the corner, coming off these screens, getting the ball on the wing, and then her losing the basketball, keep getting the ball in these unfavorable positions. She is at her best when she's pushing it up the floor, coming off the screen with the Leah Boston. You're not even doing that anymore. It seems like the Indiana Fever aren't prioritizing Caitlyn Clark's growth as a player, but what they're prioritizing is the system of basketball that Stephanie White has ran throughout the entire...
The Fever offense moves with the urgency of a Sunday crossword puzzle. Meanwhile, Caitlyn's out there bursting through screens, ready to detonate from deep, only to find herself surrounded by teammates jogging like they're late for brunch. Not a basketball game. The play collapses, the rhythm dies, and Clark's left trying to make magic inside a system that looks like it was scribbled on a napkin at 2 a.m. She's not just the best point guard in the league, she's a full-blown offensive architect being forced to babysit broken blueprints.
White puts out a lineup yesterday. Aaron McDonald starting at point. Kelsey Mitchell's at shooting guard. Caitlyn Clark's at small forward. And I'm like, what is going on? Are we trying smaller lineups? I guess, okay, but are we doing a point forward situation? Is that what we're doing? We're doing a LeBron James point forward. No, the hell we ain't. We ain't. We're just running the same old, I want to say same old offense, but I don't know what that offense...
And let's not ignore the baffling coaching decisions. It's like the staff is using a dartboard to set rotations, blindfolded, while riding a roller coaster, benching Lexi Hull. That's not strategy. It's sabotage. She's one of the few, bringing defense, hustle, and yes, actual spacing. Yet she gets pulled while the rest of the squad shuffles around like extras in a forgotten flash mob. Fans are so confused they've started uploading rotation screenshots to AI tools just to see if an algorithm can find the logic.
White's not going to change. Stephanie White is not going to change. Stephanie White is not going to stop until her style of drag everyone down to their level basketball prevails. She's not going to change. And I do not think that we're going to see very much of Stephanie White, or very much of the Fever playing good basketball under Steph.
Clark keeps dropping laser-guided passes into open space, and her teammates treat them like pop quizzes they didn't study for. Dribble, panic, pass it back, reset, repeat. That's not offensive. It's basketball purgatory. You've got a generational passer, a floor spacer, a scorer with range from another zip code, and you've somehow convinced her to stand in the corner like she's waiting to clock out. This isn't player development, it's witness protection. And if you think that's harsh, go watch a middle school team run the floor. At least they move with purpose.
Issue, guys. As long as Stephanie White is here, we'll never see the true greatness that Caitlin Clark has within her. We'll never see it. Caitlin Clark has to march up to that front office and say, hey, look, either you guys are going to fix this and we're going to do it my way, or I will not put on this jersey and I will not allow you guys to profit off of me any longer. It's that simple. You want her or you want me? I'm going to pick the coach. I'm going to tell you what players I want.
The fans have reached their limit. They're done waiting. The energy has shifted from excitement to existential dread. From posting Clark highlights to Googling, can you sue for basketball negligence? The boos are gone, replaced by long, collective sighs that echo like a bad sitcom laugh track. Meanwhile, Lexi Hull, one of the team's few bright spots, keeps getting buried while the rotation spins like a random playlist. Even opposing coaches look confused scouting for Clark, only to face a team that's somehow allergic to tempo.
I don't know what Stephanie White is doing. First, the Golden State Valkyries just cracked the Indiana Fever. Like there's no way to go around it. They're playing an envious style of basketball. I would say something that, you know, when I think of the Indiana Fever, I'm like, yo, they need to be running the offense like that. And I was absolutely baffled by the decision to start Ari McDonald, Kelsey Plum, and Caitlin Clark, and to play her at the...
This isn't just mismanagement, it's active resistance to common sense. Caitlin Clark is the biggest rookie name the league has seen in years, and she's stuck running high school level sets that wouldn't work in a summer league. Every possession she doesn't touch the ball is a waste of talent, time, and viewership. It's like asking Picasso to doodle with sidewalk chalk, even worse. The staff seems to double down every game. Slower pace, more standing, less Clark. It's like they're running a stubborn experiment in how to make fans scream at their screens.
A motion offense, and Caitlin Clark is not a player that plays within an offense. She is an offense. Caitlin Clark is more of a James Harden type. She's more of a Luka Doncic type. She's the type that you have to give the ball to and allow to do whatever she wants to, but Stephanie White is putting her in this box. There were so many plays where Ari McDonald would bring it up and then Caitlin Clark would come off these screens that weren't even good screens. They weren't even good picks. And then you're seeing the Indiana Fever offense totally crash, or Caitlin Clark might not touch the ball until 9 seconds left in the shot clock because it went through Ari McDonald, it went through Sophie Cunningham, and then finally it goes to Caitlin Clark and she has 9 seconds to actually make a shot. Caitlin Clark is obviously the reason why everybody's watching.
The Fever aren't just lost, they've committed to staying lost, like they found a treasure map, set it on fire, and now they're waiting for Clark to summon a miracle. And fans, they've had it. The backlash isn't cute anymore, it's coordinated. Stats, breakdowns, TikTok sits all out there, and the message is loud: let her cook. Instead, we're watching basketball get overcooked, overseasoned, and served cold. You don't build a dynasty by sidelining your star, you hand her the keys and let her take off. But Indiana, they're still looking for the ignition.
Don't know the story about Stephanie White. Why she likely is like this. You're wondering, like, how did she see Caitlin Clark play like this and decide, you know what, nah, we're going to build through Ari McDonald. Stephanie White, in the years of like 2015-ish, she went to Vanderbilt. And she tried to play an up-tempo offensive game, and they were terrible. They were terrible. She couldn't win a game. And then she goes to the Connecticut Sun and says, screw offense. And by the way, that Connecticut Sun team are good offense players. Bree Jones is a good offensive player.
Anyone with eyes can see what's happening. Clark's not a decoy. She's not a corner shooter. She's a conductor, a floor general, the most electric player to enter this league in decades. Watching her log cardio minutes while others fumble. The ball is like buying a Ferrari and wondering if it takes diesel, and fans are tuning out fast. League passes collecting dust, engagements nosediving. And let's be real, between botched officiating, mixed agendas, and a commissioner who seems more PR than leadership. The game's becoming a parody of itself.
Lack of focus, lack of knowing the game plan. How do you summarize kind of what you saw out there?
No, I was disappointed because I felt like there was a lack of competitive fire. With the exception of about 2 5-minute spurts, our attention to detail was poor. I'm not sure if it's not knowing the game plan as much as, because if it's not knowing the game plan, then that's a whole nother.
The officiating. At this point, it's interpretive art. Clark gets hammered on drives, and the refs stare off like they're watching clouds. But the bigger issue, the gatekeeping. There's an old guard vibe in this league that's less about competition and more about protecting legacy at all costs. Do you shine it bright? You get humbled. Not with gameplay, but with whistles, benches, and forced invisibility. Caitlin could average 30 and 10 and still get treated like an internif. She doesn't play the part the league wants.
There is so much about this game that needs to change, because I was going over some of the stats, I was going over some of the points and what was changing, and honestly, from the coaching to the players, this game needed to change completely. Now, I do understand that the Indiana Fever are a team that have faced a lot of changes, a lot of adversity. There's been so much inconsistency. There has not been able to be any time to find a rhythm, really. And just as the team was finding a rhythm with their defense, playing without Caitlin Clark, she comes back in. And, Caitlin Clark is what makes this team really fun to watch. And it was great to see the Indiana Fever succeed in those 2 games that they won.
Caitlin Clark didn't come here to blend in. She didn't fight her way to the top just to be used as a marketing tool or sideline in a broken system. She came to change the game, to raise the standard, to inspire the next generation, and to remind the world why people fall in love with basketball in the first place. But if the Indiana Fever don't wake up, if the league keeps prioritizing politics over performance, image over impact, they're not just going to lose games. They're going to lose something far more important: the fans, the energy, the momentum that Caitlin brought with her. Because when fans feel ignored, when talent is buried under narratives, the movement fades, and all we ever asked for was basketball. Pure, competitive, unapologetic. If you feel that frustration, if you're tired of watching the same spin cycle on every platform, and you're just looking for someone to call it like it is, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. To Courtside Legends, we're not here to sugarcoat. We're not here to sell fairy tales. We're here for the truth. Raw, real, and unfiltered. This is Courtside Legends. Just facts. See you in the next one.